Good evening. Thank you for joining me here on Freeform Fridays for Conversations with Taz. Normally, I wouldn't start the show off with this, but after what happened Monday, I, I want to give y'all a little bit more information in case certain medical emergencies happen around you with a loved one at dinner or out in public. So I just wanted to come on, and I know we're starting things off a little bit differently, but it's well worth it. This next video, whether you screenshot it or just share this uh, podcast from this moment, whatever, please, please, please get the information out. This is not, excuse me, this is not about clicks, likes, nothing. Like I said, screenshot it in 3, 2, 1.
I'm sorry to take so long to reply to this because work and holidays, and I got sick over the holidays. So the BFAST acronym, it's balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. It used to just be fast, but really, as more data was looked at with strokes, balance and eyes played a huge part in it. So if there's a sudden loss of balance with a loved one, eyes, it's things like it can be sudden double vision, it can be blurred vision, it can be not seeing floaters and stuff like that, because those are actual eye disease processes. But having sudden severe changes in eyesight, that can be a sign of a stroke. Your face, looking for part of your face that's drooping. Sometimes it could be just the corner of a mouth. When you have somebody that's having a stroke, ask them to smile really big, like as big as they can, and then start with their center 2 teeth and count the teeth on each side. There should be the same number of teeth on each side that are showing in an even smile. If there's not, and you notice that there's more teeth showing on one side than there are on the other, that's a sign of a stroke. Having somebody hold their arms out straight in front of them like a mummy, but turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Have them close their eyes. If one hand starts to drift in and turn back over, that's a sign of a stroke. Noticing changes in speech or word searching. We call it word searching. It's when somebody's trying to think of a word and they can't think of it and they can't think of how to describe it. So things like that. Those are things that you need to watch for, that can be telltale signs that somebody's having a stroke. And then time is the thing. Time is brain in the neuro world. So the sooner that you get somebody to the ER, the better. And I know that there were lots of comments about, the cost of healthcare, and I could do a whole video series on the frustrations with that, and insurance company, which I think are the scourge of the earth. But please know that if it's a county hospital especially, almost every hospital system has resources to reduce or even eliminate bills for hospital stays. So don't let that be the factor that keeps you from going to the hospital and getting the care that you need when you need it, especially for ischemic stroke. There are things that we can do that can reduce the stroke, but they have a time frame. We can't give certain medications after 4 hours, and so it's really important to get there as soon as you can. I hope this was helpful. If y'all have more questions, put them down below. Thanks, y'all.
Cooking soul, So President Biden spoke with the parents of Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin after he sadly collapsed on the field of an NFL game. According to reports, Biden reached out to give his thoughts to the family and extend his well wishes. Damar's mother and Biden spoke for a significant amount of time, and Biden was checking in with the family, making sure that they're doing okay. So yeah, really nice gesture from President Biden, and hopefully Damar recovers soon.
So here's the official. Thank you for joining me for Conversations with Taz for Freeform Friday. And come over here.
I'm the favorite child.
I did not. Scoot over. Say hello to my babies. These are my babies. Hi. Your brother watches this podcast.
He knows I'm the favorite. But I digress. What's up?
No. Go get food. This did not go hot. Get out of my.
One more time.
But he won't watch the podcast though. And now y'all see in real time that they really do troll me. Not Caitlin. Caitlin, she's sweet. The rest of the children, yes. All right. So let's jump all the way into updates. Damar Hamlin, we know that he was intubated. The tube was removed from him today. So we're doing good. That means his lungs are doing good. Oh, hey, Sean Patrick.
What's up?
Said, bro, stop crashing your mother's podcast.
Hey, if I'm in it, it's my podcast. Because I'm in. I'm it, I'm him.
No, I'm she. Because I created he.
I'm him.
I'm she.
I'm him.
I'm she.
I run
Who
this.
rules the world?
run
Girls. Who runs the world? Girls.
That.
Who runs the world? First of all, who created you? Anywho, let's stay on schedule. We're gonna have a 4-hour podcast, and you know what? Y'all would be down for a 4-hour podcast because I know how y'all are. Regarding the Idaho, stop, Olivia, stop! Don't laugh at him. But regarding the Idaho college murders, we got quite a few updates. Let's tackle those before we get into anything else. Let's go.
There was a mass shooting and everything.
Where? Interesting.
Well, it's horrifying because he's going to the university, you know what I mean?
So y'all work at the university there?
I actually do work there.
Oh,
PhD in criminal
okay. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that incident. Just yesterday, or?
This happened this morning. About an hour and a half ago. They're still wrapping it up for investigating. I'm not sure there's two shootings because they did shoot somebody.
Let's see.
And then you don't know about that actually. They were apparently like shooting out of the window or something.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. So do me a favor, don't follow too close, okay?
So we found out that Brian continued his studies after the murder. He was even present for a class discussion regarding the murders. The class discussion went on to talk about how crazy the murders were, how crazy it was that they didn't have any information, how everyone was scared, and they say that he had no reaction, was calm, and didn't even comment on the discussion. So we've also heard that Kaylee's father said no one in the family knows or recognizes the suspect, but that in the hour since they learned his name, they started to make connections between Kaylee and the suspect, and they aren't ready to discuss that yet.
Brian Koberger may have been the man behind the 4chan thread. In the thread, it states that it took 19 minutes total to complete the crime, which would align with the 4 to 4:25 a.m. timeframe that law enforcement has given us. There's also a podcast that allegedly Brian called into. In the podcast, he names himself as Dave. Talks about how frat brothers have asked him how to execute the perfect crime. Confirmed by a friend of Brian's that the voice was his. This screenshot also tries to blame two frat boys for the crime, Loach and Barry. It seems as though Brian was trying to deflect the crime to be on the frat brothers. Considering he was a college kid and also a teacher's assistant at a college, it's very possible he knew frat talk as seen in the 4chan thread. Since FBI didn't give him credit for the crime immediately, it's possible he was trying to draw attention to himself other ways.
One of the surviving roommates actually saw the killer. She heard crying on the mornings of the killings and heard a male voice say, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you." She then saw a man in black clothing and a black mask walking towards her. She then saw him go towards the sliding glass door as she locked herself in her room. DNA was also pulled off the knife sheath that matched DNA found at Brian's family's house, specifically with his father. On top of that, phone records show that he was near the victim's house 12 times since June.
To read more from the affidavit. DM, again, one of the roommates who survived, who was on the ground floor, stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Kaylee Gonsalves, playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which was located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said that she heard who she thought was Gonsalves say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of...
Shocking new details in the Idaho murder case. We just found out that one of the surviving victims actually saw a masked man inside the house. This is what tied Brian Koberger to the murders. And
what tied Brian Koberger to the murders was his car being in the vicinity, his cell phone pinging off the towers, and his DNA being on the knife shaft. But for those of y'all that are coming after Dylan online going, "Oh, there must..." Let me explain something to you about my own house. On Thanksgiving, I was in the kitchen cooking. I didn't hear my own son knocking on the door. Fortunately, there was somebody else in the house that was like, "Hey, somebody's knocking on the door." And I went to the door and I was like, "Oh, crap." Stop thinking that a house is an acoustic funnel, that everywhere you are, you can hear everything. Number one. Number two, this was a party house. So hearing that, "Oh, shoot, somebody's in the house." I've lived in a party house. And this is what gives me pause now. And this is what also takes away from my sleep, because I'm always like, "Well, what if this happens? What if this, what if?" Because you don't know. And I had a roommate that was a cousin of mine. I woke up one morning, thought she was in her bedroom. It wasn't even her. She didn't send me a text, didn't leave me a note. It was her boyfriend. Everybody else was at school, leave this young lady alone. She was traumatized. And you couch detectives. They're like, "Well, I would have done that." No, you don't know what you would have done until you're in a situation. And I have been in high stress, high intensity situations. And was my thought process the same way that it would have been right now, where I'm sitting here cool, calm, and collect? Hell no. Hell no. But y'all keep doing what you're doing. Now, let's not forget, for other updates, check the links in the description of this video as always. But let's not forget about Santos and his impeccable line. My son ain't shit. He's on this other side of this camera fucking with me. He really is. Why are you like this?
Love you.
Love you too. But it's actually the perfect segue into Congressman maybe elect George Santos. You know how we do. This is going to be a few videos back to back, so get comfortable, turn the volume up, go get a beverage, go get a snack. Y'all know how we do. I'll see you in 2 and 2, and we'll do what we do.
Procedural pause. You get these moments now where the tellers are going through and counting the votes and checking them out in the Republican Party.
This is George Santos when he was on the House floor on yesterday. This is also George Santos when he was on the House floor on yesterday. Do you see it? Brazil, you can come get your boy. We've got enough trash up in Congress.
I gotta tell you, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised one bit. God damn it, New York, what did you do?
I want to run for Congress as a Republican because apparently the only job requirement is that you lie about absolutely every fucking thing there is to lie about in your life. Reporters were interviewing this guy like, hey, George Santos, that last name sounds kind of Spanish, like, where are your parents from? And he looked everyone dead in the eyes and was like, oh, actually, my great-grandparents are Jewish survivors of the Holocaust.
Where my grandfather was born in Kiev, and left in the late 20s and migrated to Belgium where he met my grandmother and then started a family. But it's just very vague and faint. We don't carry the Ukrainian last name. For a lot of people who are descendants of World War II refugees or survivors of the Holocaust, a lot of names and paperwork were changed in the name of survival. So I don't carry the family last name. That would have been Zabrowski.
He said his last name is actually Zabrowski. Fast forward a couple days later when he's got some Twitter beef with someone arguing about MLK and he's like, oh, I'm allowed to talk about this shit because I'm half black, half white. When he went on the campaign trail, he told everyone that he was a successful hedge fund manager, and he worked his way up from the bottom as an analyst all the way up to managing $500 million worth of assets for Goldman Sachs. And he also graduated from Baruch with like an econ degree and was married, and like the whole like sort of like conservative like shtick with like the nuclear family, right? His motherfucker's boyfriend came out and was like, this guy worked at Dish Network at the call center and he never graduated college. Wait, I forgot to tell you, when they grilled him about the fact that he's actually Spanish and not Jewish, he also told everyone, he was like, oh no, I didn't say I was Jewish, I said I was Jew-ish, as in like, my great-great-great-grandmother was probably Jewish, but she converted to Catholicism. No cap, this guy's Twitter is a fucking train wreck. Like, 1 minute he's bashing about how, like, all the landlords are being taken advantage of because, like, he owns 13 properties and, like, no one's ever paid him rent over COVID. And it turns out he hasn't paid rent in his grandma's basement in, like, 2 years. He's, like, fucking calling, like, Joe Biden a pathological liar. Wait, I'm not even done! 17... As of yesterday, the Brazilian authorities have reopened a fraud case because it turns out him and his mom stole the checkbooks from his grandma to go buy shit. And so now he's on the run from the Brazilian government, and he just got sworn into office today.
Actually, he still hasn't been sworn into office because you can't be sworn into office before there's a Speaker of the House. So that's why C-SPAN is going rogue, because there's no rules right now. So This is why so many other people of color, Asian, indigenous, black, are very leery. The Latinx, the Latine, the Hispanic community. This man is obviously brown, but lives his life as if he was a white Latina, as many of them do. Because they want that adjacency, they want that privilege. This is the same man that gave a white supremacy This is the same man that kept trying to infiltrate particular circles, not everybody's, majoritively Matt Gaetz' circles when they were on the floor speaking. I don't do conspiracy theories, but I do actual factual, it's in front of your face why he was their tactics. He knows that his days are short. This brown man sold his soul for what? For what? He didn't offer another candidate to throw a wrench in things. So what recon is he supposed to be bringing back? And who is he supposed to be bringing it back? Now, if you remember in previous reports that I've had about George Santos, we know that Russian oligarchs gave him money. So are you just collecting data for Trump? And if so, why are you in Matt Gaetz' circle? And Matt Gaetz is the only person who nominated and voted for Trump. So who are you really working for? And there were several times that your name was called while you were on the floor and didn't recognize that your name was being called. Is your name even actually George Santos? And first of all, who the fuck listened to this man with the name George Santos, the name he chose to go public with, and let him say that his family were Holocaust survivors? You know what? Let's take this down a notch. Let's go to a blind react. Let's do that. I mean, I feel a little bit better about my dog. You went in. We have now dubbed this dog Karen, because that's what a Karen do. You know what? Before we get into anything else, I don't know if it's gonna be too. Let's go to this. Am I the asshole? Here we go.
AITA for asking my husband to eat his Christmas dinner in the kitchen because my daughter didn't feel comfortable sitting with him at the dining table. I'll preface by saying that my husband and my daughter, 18, Stacy, do not get along. They tried to get close, but it didn't work out, and somehow, things got worse between them after he allegedly accused her of taking his watch and selling it. Police were involved and she moved with her dad after paying my husband for the watch. That took place last year. She made a mistake, but she had her reasons. I asked Stacy to come join us for Christmas and have Christmas dinner with us since she will be moving away to study abroad. She agreed to come but said she wouldn't feel comfortable sitting with my husband at dining table. I tried to think of a compromise but couldn't find one other than ask my husband to eat his plate in the kitchen. He initially refused and sat at dining table and had an attitude about it being his house, but I tried to
You know what? I couldn't even make it through the whole thing. First of all, how is your daughter studying abroad and she had her reasons for stealing from your husband? She don't even live with you. She lives full time with her father. And do you know how hard it is for a mother to lose custody unless some folks is lying? But the way this story goes, I don't think people was lying about you. Trust me, I've witnessed some situations where people lied to get the children away from the mother so that the family as a collective that took on the child or children could get money. But you wanted that man to get up out of the house that he pays the mortgage on and eat in a separate room to make somebody who stole from him feel more This screams interracial marriage and you white. But white privilege ain't just stuck to relationships. Let's look at what the My Pillow guy just learned. He fucked around. He finding out. Woohoo!
Holy shit! You guys, okay, come here. Mike Lindell fucked around and found out. So first, a federal judge has denied Mike Lindell's effort to access the search warrant affidavit justifying the seizure of his phone. He said nope. Apparently, it's got informants on there. It's got recorded information. Yeah, Mike Lindell's probably shitting bricks right now. Not only that, the judge took a swipe at Cannon. Petty motherfucker, and I love him. One other issue deserves mention. As discussed below, there is a, and I quote, a sound and well-established principle that a court should not exercise its equitable powers to interfere with or enjoining on an ongoing criminal investigation. Kind of like what Cannon did. They did that. And I love that. Oh, and the DOJ is going to be appointing a special counsel like Robert Mueller. So no matter what the Republicans do, no matter if Trump runs, he will still be investigated. And I fucking love that. Doesn't Michelle Obama and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton have a law license? And the clearance? Ha.
I've been saying this for months. Y'all want a special... Anywho, Laura Ingraham, you know, the Laura Ingraham of Fox News, Fox Entertainment News, because if you look up Fox News, they're listed as entertainment, but people anywho, she got owned.
The NFL could do tomorrow, but they're not going to do it until there's an economic incentive. The reason they settled that lawsuit is because they had a PR problem. It's like at Fox News when you have hosts who are allegedly sexually harassing people. Fox News throws money at that to make that PR problem go away. That's what happens with big corporations or powerful people.
Well, nobody's done more.
I mean, you know that, Laura, right?
Expose.
You know that.
Well,
you know
that's a cute little move. But I'm trying to get you to answer a question.
Fair warning in this video, it might be just as chaotic as the last one I posted. So Laura Ingraham was recently conducting an interview on Fox News, and let's just say it did not go the way she had hoped it would. She was interviewing a man named Steve Almond, and I want you guys to get a good look at this dude. Google him and look at the tan he got. I gotta say, it's actually quite impressive. Anyway, Steve Almond was on the show because he wrote this book titled Against Football, One Fan's Reluctant Manifesto. And on the show, they were talking about football and safety, and I'm sure this all has to do with Damar Hamlin's injury. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I did make a video about it on my main page. Go over there if you want and go check it out. It's in my bio. But nonetheless, I have 3 clips I want to play for you. This might seem a little bit all over the place, but I want to start with this clip first.
Things the NFL could do tomorrow, but they're not going to do it until there's an economic incentive. The reason they settled that lawsuit is because they had a PR problem. It's like at Fox News when you have hosts who are allegedly sexually harassing people. Fox News throws money at that to make that PR problem go away. That's what happens with big corporations or powerful people.
Well, nobody's done more.
I mean,
to
you know
expose,
that, Laura, right? You know that.
Well,
you
yeah,
know that
that's a cute little move. But I'm trying to get you to answer a question.
You guys see where this is headed, right? I have clip number 2.
They have enormous amount of influence. What happened during George Floyd? They had enormous amount of influence on corporate America, the actions of corporate America, the actions of the NFL. I mean, they changed the whole corporate approach to race and equity and all the things that happened 2.5 years ago. So you say the players don't have all that much influence. I would say the players have an enormous amount of influence, maybe not as much as they want, but there's huge economic upside for everyone here, correct?
Well, I know you're focused on the players. I'm focused on the fans. And what I essentially believe is not that any government ban is going to make football safer, and certainly not some mythic woke mob that you mentioned to try to scare your viewers. I think it's going to happen
I'm not
because
trying to scare the viewers. Football's not about politics. It's not about politics. You're making it about politics.
Your entire economic model.
What?
Your entire economic model is to scare your viewers. That's your whole gig.
I mean, Steve, you really want football to be banned. Yeah, you want football to be banned.
I don't. This is what you do.
Game. Oh, come on. You want football essentially changed into, I don't know what. Like, I don't know, you have a sensor in the helmet, I guess. Okay. Propose one.
Well, is that technology troubling to you?
No, not in the
slightest. If you're concerned about the players,
not in the slightest.
Why wouldn't you want them to play in a way that was safer? You're not concerned about the players.
Oh, Laura Ingraham. Laura Ingraham. This woman. This is the same person that told NBA players to shut up and dribble. She is so afraid of athletes speaking out against injustice and politics, and more specifically taking the side of Democrats. She just wants them to stick to their sport. And last but not least, this is where the interview ended.
So thrilling. The reason that people change their behavior is because there's an economic incentive. A couple of years ago, when you taunted the survivor of Parkland mass shooting, you apologized only because advertisers withdrew from your show. And
nice try, buddy. I appreciate it. Hey, this is what they always do.
What can I just say? How much I appreciate Steve Allman. And it has nothing to do with his tan, believe it or not. It has everything to do with the fact that this guy had calculated shit to say, and I don't think Fox News is ever going to have him back on. Oh, that was so delicious.
You see how Fox News consistently wants to play into tropes and still want to play into racism, even though they're going against the GOP currently because of the debacle that's happening with the speaker vote. They still want to protect their base because their base, do y'all not know the history of Fox News? Let me break this down for you. Fox News would not have even existed if it wasn't for Ronald Reagan. Why do you think that everybody that comes onto Fox News always wants to quote, are we not the GLP of Ronald Reagan? He wanted a state-run media corporation to put out GOP, the grand old party, Republicans, because people forget what GOP stands for. That's why I constantly say the grand old party, to put out their views and their views only. He did not want there to be a media station that was impartial, that informed people of everything that was going on. Ronald Reagan was the same person that fucked around on his first wife and found out that the second wife was fucking batshit crazy. Ronald Reagan was also incredibly homophobic to have a gay son and a lesbian daughter. Ronald Reagan wanted to be private, but Nancy Reagan pushed them into, how we talk about reality TV at this point in time. the first glimpse of reality TV were the GE ads, because back in the day, ads were run like in real time. The Reagans were put into what was then called a smart home. It was a General Electric, aka GE home, because of Nancy Reagan. You know, no gag reflex, pearl necklace, Nancy Reagan. This love is taking control of me. But let's keep trying to gaslight the people. We used to have proper housing and proper medical care for those that suffered from mental illness. You want to know why that went away? Reagan. When people talk about and just use military vets as a talking point and nothing else, you want to know where that started from? Excuse me, Reagan. Why do you think the most problematic within the GOP always go, are we not the people of Reagan? Yes, you are the people of Reagan. You are 100% the people of Reagan. You're homophobic, you're transphobic, you're racist. You're anti-poor people. You're anti-black people. You're capitalistic as fuck, and you believe in trickle-down economics, which means you give the most to the rich and don't give a fuck about the poor. Now, like I said, y'all on TikTok, those of y'all on YouTube, you might want to skedaddle over to YouTube. My YouTube channel is TazJ77. You will have the full context over there. You'll be able to see everything for yourself. So, let's get into the GOP debacles. Look.
They want us divided. They want us to fight each other. That much has been made clear by the popcorn and blankets and alcohol that is coming over there. The House is not in order. The clerk.
The House will never be in order. The GOP has done nothing but make gotcha moment attempts after gotcha moment attempts after gotcha moment attempts through this whole Speaker of the House voter scenario. Those of y'all on YouTube, you saw the smirk on her face. She knew what she was doing. She paused. Like, let me get a reaction. That's what they want. The GOP has never gave a fuck about you or me. Let me say this again. The GOP ain't never gave a fuck about you or me. Oh. Y'all, you know what? Hold on. Let me sit back. Let me get comfortable in my historical context, because see, a lot of people, even though they recognize that there was a party switch, they still want to uphold LBJ, Lyndon Bird Johnson, and FDR. Y'all do realize that these white men understand what legacy means. They understand how they will be written in the history books. Y'all like, but FDR, no, Eleanor Roosevelt made him do certain shit, and there was certain shit he didn't want to do. You do realize this man FDR was anti-Semitic during the Holocaust. And then you're like, but he appointed blah, 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 and blah, blah, because they were cool with him. How Has somebody figured out that, oh, you just thought that I was the acceptable one? In LBJ, Lyndon Bird Johnson, and Lady Bird, you have to realize John F. Kennedy was murdered. Lyndon B. Johnson inherited the agenda of JFK. What he signed into the history books had been on the books for a year. They had argued about for a year. Leaders in the Black community came to Lyndon B. Johnson and said, you know what? We know you want to save your reputation. If this is what you want to do, go ahead and sign this into law. This will be a good way to commemorate the sacrifice of JFK. And that's what he did. Why do y'all think you didn't get anything else from these presidents? And can y'all please, for the sake of all things holy, stop saying Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. No, Abraham Lincoln created his own party. He was a Democratic Republican. That party was dissolved after his assassination. See, y'all so used to the two-party system that you are willing to have anybody tell you anything. Oh, baby, listen. No, See, when you get into actual factual history of things look a whole lot different. Stop sitting here going, "Ooh, they's a black savior. No. There is not a white person alive that is going to tell you, oh, I'm out here to save you, and they have your best interest at heart. No. And if you think I'm joking, white people will throw their own people under the bus. They will kill their own people to uphold what they have to uphold. And if you think I'm bullshitting, oh yeah, guess what? Trump's getting sued again, and it ain't from us.
A little bit of breaking news I just came across. It turns out the personal representative of the estate of the late police officer killed as the result of January 6th, Officer Brian Sitnick, has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Donald Trump. Beyond wrongful death, the lawsuit also claims conspiracy to violate his civil rights, negligence, and aiding and abetting an assault. As we get more information, I will continue to bring it to you. And man, Donald Trump thought he was going to have a good day because...
Let's not forget that yesterday, Donald Trump was being very boastful because one person voted for him, one person nominated him for Speaker of the House. Bro, you just became a loser once again, over and over again. You're being sued because, like I tell people, y'all call it an insurrection. I know what it actually was. It was a Donald Trump self-coup. If you do not know what a self-coup is, Google it. That's free, not me. So yeah. And let's talk about what happened today at the White House. Yes, it was very apropos. It was a little too late when it came to the White House and the January 6th insurrection. And Joe Robinette Biden, baby, why didn't you have this ceremony last year? But I digress. You still had it. You still honored these people. And I'm glad that the people who survived were still surviving to be there to, for the most part, accept their awards. But here's my problem. The United States does not have a national religion. Can y'all, as politicians, stop going, well, God brought us this far. God, daughter, God, who's God? Y'all were always on the campaign trail. Y'all were always giving us political talk and not actually doing shit for us. So if you're going to be on political talking points, don't bring religion into it. Because I'm sorry, the God that seems to be predominant within the United States ain't helped a damn motherfucker out. And you white supremacists, this God ain't even helped your ass out either. So I don't want to hear shit from you. Because you no longer have slaves. So how did this God help you? Tell me how. Your God let the people that you tried to convince that your God told you were less than because of Ham. Oh, you thought we didn't know? That we were less than, but we exceed you. And you have put in parameters and barriers that have nothing to do with your God or your Christianity in order for you to still try to elevate yourself. Make it make sense. Whoa, Jesus, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So if the Protestant, tyrannical, kill your brother, Christian God ain't saving black people, brown people, Asian people, or white people, who is he saving? Somebody? Anybody? Who is he saving? But like I always say, what do I know? Do not forget, those of you that are anime fans, tomorrow we will be picking back up on the anime version of The Count of Monte Cristo. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. If you're following me right now on YouTube, we're going to continue this conversation over on TikTok. So go up to the banner at the top of my YouTube page. You'll be able to click on that and get to me over there. But we're going to continue this over on the TikTok. And as always, thank you for joining me here on Freeform Fridays, here on Conversations with Taz.